Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dakota's Political Circle. And today I wanted to talk about how Pennsylvania could could possibly go in the Republicans' column. And the reason being is because several polls have come out that have been very close or closer than a lot of people expected. Now, take these polls with a grain of salt, but at the same time, some of these pollsters are very, very surprising with what the results ended up being. Now, obviously, there is a lot of mixed polls that ended up happening, but Casey could end up losing. Casey very much could end up losing in this race, and you might actually see McCormick winning. McCormick is I'd say he's more of a rhino Republican, but not as rhino as the Maryland governor. But I do think getting McCormick would be a massive upgrade over Casey. So I think this could be a big advantage. And the reason being that I say that it is a very close race now, that it could actually go McCormick's way in some way. I'll show you right here. So here's Casey right here. The average is 3.4, but he's actually dipped a little bit. His average was around 6 points, and it's dipped a significant amount since the last time we talked about it. Like usually it was like around 6 to 7, and now he's dipping to a 3.4 in the average, which is a massive advantage for McCormick because he has a lot of ground game that he can actually cover. And the big reason I say that McCormick could win is look at these polls right here. Here's CNN that got polled somewhat recently. It was a tie. It was a literal tie that McCormick and Casey are both tied. And then you got right here Trafalgar, which is a pretty accurate pollster. It has Casey up by 1. So that is also very, very massive because that is within the margin of error. The margin of error is more or less around like probably 3 to 2.5. So even the margin of error for the spread is very, very within the margin of error or close. And then there's obviously these polls too. But I think the CBS poll is kind of bogus. I mean, a +7 for Casey, that's not accurate as of right now. The +4 I would say is a little bit more accurate from the Hill, but it could be around a +2 to +3 margin for Casey as of right now. But I do think Casey is very much underperforming polls. Underperforming polls as of right now. He's very going downhill, and McCormick is gaining a lot of steam. So you could very much see McCormick actually ending up winning this race. And to show you right here, here's another poll I actually saw as well. This is from Wick, and it is a Casey +2. It wasn't included in the average. So Casey is losing momentum. You can tell Casey is losing momentum in this race. Now, Casey could end up winning, and if I look right here, just look at what his 2018 margin was. So his 2018 margin was around, like it was around 12 points or more, and then he ended up getting 14. So he does usually overperform polls, but if he is losing momentum, it is a high possibility that Bob Casey could end up losing this. And to show you right here, here's Trump's lead in Pennsylvania. It's a theoretical tie as of right now, mainly because of this stupid Bloomberg poll. If this was out of the average, Trump would be leading. But let's say Trump is up by 2. If Trump's up by 2 theoretically in this Trafalgar poll, you got Casey up by 1. So if Trump can win the state of Pennsylvania by 3 or 4 percentage points, I think that Casey ends up losing the race. Trump overperforms in Pennsylvania, but McCormick slightly is under Trump. So I think that if Trump keeps overperforming in Pennsylvania, Casey can end up losing. And I want to show you right here exactly why this could be a big thing if Pennsylvania does end up going to McCormick. So let me show you right here. So let's do the most obvious ones first. So Montana's going to go to Republican. You got Maryland going to the Dems for now. And then let's say Michigan goes to the Dems. And then you got these states right here. And also let me say Nevada. Nevada's pretty far in the lead right now for Dems. And then you got these 4 states right here. Let me just say that Arizona goes to the Dems. And then you got these 3 states. You got Wisconsin, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Ohio, as of right now, if I show you. So Ohio, as of right now, is a brown 3.6. And I talked in my other video. If you watch my other video, I told you that it's very, very possible that Moreno can win based on past instances on how he performed. So let's just say Ohio goes Republican for the Senate specifically. And then you got Wisconsin. Let me show you Wisconsin. Wisconsin's a little bit different. It's a 6.2. But then you got that Hill one, which is more interesting, is a +1. But I would just say, like, okay, let's give that to the Dems. So let's give Wisconsin to the Dems. And then you got Pennsylvania here. You got Pennsylvania. And obviously I showed you that Pennsylvania is doing pretty well. Well, it's doing decent, but it's getting very tighter with McCormick and Casey. So let's say McCormick ends up winning Pennsylvania. So is a 53-47 margin a decent majority, especially for Republicans? And if Trump does get into office in this scenario, which obviously he would win Pennsylvania in this scenario because I showed you right here, if Trump gets a +3 or +4 in Pennsylvania, McCormick's going to win the Senate race. It's expected. But so in this scenario, Trump would be president, and you got a 53-47 margin. So we would have a good margin in the Senate. You got Pennsylvania, Ohio, and even though Wisconsin's possible in some way, I would say, let's just say that, give that to the Dems. And Nevada and Arizona are so Nevada is definitely going Dem, from what it seems. Arizona is a little bit weird right now, but I will just say Dem. Maryland's also interesting. I'll actually show you Maryland just to show you. It's interesting, I guess. So you got Osselbrook at 4.4, but if you look right here, Hogan is somewhat gaining momentum. Now, obviously, it is Maryland, so I will not say Hogan's going to win. But there is a tie in one of the polls. You just never know about Maryland. I think it'll be close in Maryland, but I don't think it's going to go red. But if theoretically it did go red, you got a 54-46. But I will not say it goes red. I would much more expect maybe Arizona or Wisconsin to go red in the Senate than Maryland. But you just never know. You never know with elections. You never know what could happen. But theoretically, if Pennsylvania and Ohio did go red, as well, also Montana, but Montana's just expected, then you got 53-47, and you got a good majority in the Senate, and you also probably win the House at this point. So you get the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And we have a very, very good way at being able to govern and actually get stuff done. Unlike when it came to 2018, when Trump was president, there wasn't much to get done because there wasn't a majority in the House. And then in 2016 or 17, I think it was 2016, that where Trump had a majority in the Senate and he had a majority in the House. But remember, there was a lot of rhinos. You remember Jeff Flake. You got there was the other one from Arizona. Can't remember his name exactly, but he ran for president at one point. Everyone definitely knows that person. I just can't remember his name exactly. He didn't end up dying at one point. But Jeff Flake, Jeff Fake, and then there was the other one. Oh yeah, John McCain. That's what his name was. John McCain and Jeff Flake really screwed up the Senate majority because they were very, very, very big rhinos. Now, I don't think McCormick's a Jeff Flake or a John McCain rhino, but I do think he's a little bit more rhino than some other Republicans. But with Maryland specifically, I do think that that's more of a Jeff Flake and more of a Jeff Flake Republican when it comes to Larry Hogan. But in this scenario, I think this would be a great starting point if Trump became president. And I do think if this scenario did happen, that it would be really, really great for this country because we would get a lot of stuff done. Now, it would be nice to have like a 56 majority, but you gotta wait till the midterms for that kind of stuff. But for now, this would actually be very, very great. But in a scenario, just to show you, if we won Arizona, if we won Maryland, if we won Wisconsin, you do go to 56-44. So if you really want to have a 56 majority to have a good majority, even though you got a rhino in there, it's still a nice way to look at it. But 53-47, that's how it would end up. And I do think it is possible that McCormick can outpace Casey. I mean, you can see right here that it is starting to get close since Election Day is starting to come up. But you never know. You never know in these elections, just like I showed you, that Casey does overperform. But remember, that was 2020. That was 2020. You never know. But anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. I just wanted to talk about that with you guys today. I was going to talk about some other stuff, but I didn't really have time to talk about it. So I just want to talk about specifically McCormick and Casey and how McCormick actually could end up winning. My next video will actually be out Wednesday morning because the The debates are tomorrow. Well, technically today, if you're watching this video. The debates are today. I mean, the debate against with Kamala Harris and Trump. So I'm definitely going to be talking about that after it does end up happening. Hopefully Trump does really, really well. If he does, then those numbers are going to shoot up for him. And just to show you guys really quick, here's how Trump is performing against Harris as of right now. You gotta. Oh, actually, no. This is the wrong one. I'll show you how Trump is performing against Kamala right now. If I can show you right here. So here it is. So Trump's leading. I mean, Harris is leading by 1.2, but Trump is starting to gain momentum with the New York Times putting him out, Trump +1, and then you got a Harvard Harris as a tie. So Trump's starting to gain steam. So I think if this debate does go Trump's way, you will see a massive shift in polling, just like how it looked with Joe Biden. And from years past, you know Kamala Harris sucks as a debater if you watch the Tulsi Gabbard debate. But anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're very close to 500 subscribers. I can't wait until that number hits 500. I'm going to be very, very excited, and I love hearing your guys' comments as well. Leave a comment if you do think that Casey can end up winning. I mean, not Casey. If you think McCormick can end up winning against Bob Casey. But if it does happen, you know you got a 53-47. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.